All right, so we're doing physicalism versus agnostic, not
Dualism.
physicalism, fuck, dualism versus agnostic dualism.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so what position are you taking? You're taking agnostic dualism.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that the mind is completely non-physical and interacts with physical.
Okay. I'll go on ahead and say that I believe that the mind and the body are of two different fundamental substances in the sense that the mind is something non-physical and that the body is something physical.
Well, yeah,
Do you agree to that definition?
no. I think you're just restating your position. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I'm just taking like a definition for my position.
Oh, sure. I agree to that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I was just clarifying. All right. So would you agree that all things that exist physically can have like an equal observation to every one person?
No.
No? Do you know what I mean by that?
Everyone perceives the same physical object in the same way.
No. Every one person has an equal opportunity to perceive one physical object. That's what I meant to say.
No.
No? Why?
I think there's certain physical objects that aren't perceivable. I can give an
Like
example.
what?
Dark matter, dark energy.
Dark matter?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So that's not necessarily like. All right, that's not what I'm implying. That's not what I'm implying.
Philosophically, it
You're
is
taking this hyper literally.
okay.
Wait, no. You're taking this hyper literally. What I'm saying is that all things such as, say, an atom or like a neutron,
Hmm.
all human beings, given the same equipment, could perceive any one physical object equally. Not saying that they have the same perception of that object,
Sure.
but saying
They
that
have
they all have access to perceiving it.
the ability to perceive it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Well,
given
I don't think
given
I don't
given
think
the same equipment and given an equal opportunity,
okay.
they could all perceive it.
The thing is that atoms aren't the only physical properties. Right? There are other
Yeah,
things.
no. I'm not saying that they are. I'm not saying that they are because normally the physical object of an atom cannot be
Well,
perceived,
you,
right?
but
You'd have to use a microscope or like
yeah,
a fucking whatever it's called.
yeah, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that there are certain things that are physical that we still can't perceive. So I don't, I wouldn't agree to that. So I don't think all material things, given the opportunity, everyone would be able, and the tools, like the ability to see, I don't think we'd be able to perceive anyways. So I think they're non-perceptible physical things.
You think they're non-perceptible physical things?
Yes.
Okay, well, all things that we know to exist physically, even dark matter, be it if we had some hypothetical, um,
We don't.
given that we have some hypothetical type of thing to be able to see dark matter. And yet, no. We do know that it exists physically, right? Because something that exists like in a philosophical way that exists non-physically is something like an idea, right? It's a concept, it's a
Right.
proposition.
Do you know? Do you understand the method we use to know that it exists physically, even though we can't perceive it?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I
See,
didn't catch everything you
we
said.
can't perceive dark matter, but we still know it exists. Do you know how we do that?
Fucking
It's just
things
induction.
that measure.
It's just induction.
No. I know that. I know like the whole case where you had like a star cluster that got broken up and it couldn't be a black hole. It couldn't be
Okay.
this. It couldn't be that.
Yeah, I was just clarifying because I didn't know if you were gonna say, well, we know it exists, so we must perceive it. I thought you were gonna say something like that.
No. If it exists, right? We don't absolutely know that it exists, right? It's just something that we believe to exist, that we
Yeah, I
theorize.
think we have warranted belief based off of the evidence available to us.
Yeah, I'm saying that all things that we know to exist physically, we all have an equal opportunity to perceive that physical thing given the chance.
And again, I
So
disagree with that.
only things that we know to see, only only things that we know to exist physically.
Again, I disagree that all things that exist physically we have an equal chance to perceive it. I disagree with that.
Why?
As I explained, there are things that we know to exist physically that we can't perceive.
We don't know dark matter
What is your
exists.
definition of knowledge?
What is my definition of knowledge? I guess true justified belief.
Okay.
Justified true belief. JTB.
Do you think we can have justified true belief?
Do I think we could have justified true belief?
Yes.
Um, well,
I think
first, do you want to
I
like get into the definitions of what like belief would constitute?
well, see, I think knowledge is a subset of belief because in order to know something, you must also believe it to be true, right?
Yeah, I know.
But
So a knowledge is something that is justified and true, right? The belief aspect comes in later on.
see,
I think,
I function on a different understanding of knowledge. I think knowledge
which would be
is just a warranted belief based off of the amount of evidence that we have available. So let's say
you fucking
so let's say there's
man. I was gonna say that. I was literally gonna say that. I just didn't know how you were gonna react to it because you're a rat.
okay, so like there's A or B, right? B has a high proportionate amount of evidence for in its favor. So I would think it'll be warranted for me to believe B over A, right? So that's how I would say refer to as knowledge. And I don't think we can have true justified belief through problems like epistemic skepticism and epistemic humility.
Well, actually, the problem with warranted belief is that if you believe something to be true, right, and you hold it as something that you have
I don't think
knowledge
it's
about,
objectively true.
you don't think it's objectively true?
I don't think anything's objectively true.
Okay, well, but still, to say that something like, let's say, for example, oh, I don't know, let's just say that God created the universe, right?
Okay.
This is just an example, right? For a theist to ask you, okay, well, why do you think, who do you think created the universe? And no, by the way, we're not going to bring the problem of evil and all this other shit to like disprove God. We're not going to do that. Because I know how you operate. Fuck you.
All right.
But we're just going to go ahead and take God's existence as, like, we can presuppose it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I were to say that, okay, it would make more sense for God to have created the universe than for the universe to just have popped out of nothing, and
Mm-hmm.
there's more evidence to substantiate that, there's more reason to believe it, then it has to be true. That's an argument from ignorance.
No, that's not how the justified, sorry, warranted belief is. Just because,
Really, how
no,
does it function?
warranted belief says that there is enough evidence for the belief to be reasonable. It's reasonable to believe proposition X, but just because it's reasonable to believe it doesn't actually make the proposition true. So you could say that the case of God creating the universe is more reasonable than the universe coming from nothing. Therefore, the proposition of God creating it is a more reasonable to believe position, but doesn't actually make that proposition true. So,
I'm sorry, I zoned out for that entire thing. Can we do a different debate?
yeah, all right, hold on.
Man, because, like, okay, okay.